สวัสดีครับ Welcome to MCU This Week program by MCU TV Broadcast Television for Education of มหาจุฬาลงกรณราชวิทยาลัย University. It's me, Assistant Professor Dr. Sanu Mathanadull.
And I'm Dr. Nanapang Phophaijit.
Together with the MCU This Week team, we offer in English the general news within the universities, the news on the Sangha communities, education and social services, together with the opening up perspective session with the MCU personals, including the MCU authorities, faculty members, and students. So, how are you today, Dr. Nanapang?
Good as usual.
As usual.
As usual.
I'm super as well. Yeah. So today we have still a lot of interesting headlines. So
yes.
Can we start right now to introduce the headlines to the audiences?
Yes, of course. So we have 5 interesting headlines for today. The first one is the Board of Education of Sangha Supreme Council approved the sub-law of the Buddhist Scripture Education Act. The second headline is MCU Wat Rai King shows outstanding national research works. And the third one is MCU Chiang Mai joined hand with Chiang Mai Hospital to take care of monks and patients' health. The fourth one is brotherly relationship between seniors and juniors of faculties of education. And the last one, which is very auspicious, rejoice in merit to Buddhist hosting food to MCU students. And in the session 2 for today, the audience should not miss because we have a very special guest to come and talk about their experience being a chaplain in the United States. He completed his bachelor degree from MCU batch 46. His name is Captain Somya Malasri, and we will have an interview conversation via the telephone mobile.
So that is all for the interesting topics, including the special talks today. So do not go anywhere, okay? Please stay with us.
Yes.
And without further delay, I would like to start our first headline. Board of Education of Sangha Supreme Council approved the sub-laws of the Buddhist Scriptures Education Act. On last 17th of August 2020, at the building of celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Supreme Patriarch Wat Bawar Niwet Vihan, Pranakon District, Bangkok, Somdet Phra Wanarat, President of the Buddhist Scriptures Education Commission, presided over the meeting of the Buddhist Scriptures Education Commission, attended by Somdet Phra Maha Veerawong, President of the Royal Dhamma Studies Division and Expert Committee, Professor Dr. Phra Brahma Bandit, President of Phra Parayatti Nithet of Thai Sangha, Professor Dr. Phra Racha Parayatti Kavi, Rector of MCU, Phra Racha Patiyana Koson, Rector of Mahamakut Buddhist University, other expert commission members, and Mr. Narong Song Arong, Director General of the National Office of Buddhism, as member and secretary and commission members, and jointly considered the ordinance called Draft Regulations of the Buddhist Scriptures Education Commission on Personal Management of the Buddhist Scriptures Education and on approval of degrees and certificates to the graduates of the Buddhist Scriptures Education.
After meeting, Associate Professor Dr. Pratep Weti, Acting Sangha Commissioner of Region 6 and Vice Rector for Students Affairs of MCU, and the working group of drafting sub-law of the Buddhist Scripture Education Act exposed. Today is one of the histories of Thai Sangha because the Commission of the Buddhist Scripture Education, which is the super board of the education of Thai Sangha, approved order on personnel administration, which is the most important regulation to be used as law to propose for the national budget to education management of the Bali language studies, Dhamma studies, and Buddhist scripture studies for general education, and the Buddhist scripture guidance of the Thai Sangha. All sub-laws are expected to come out soon and will purpose for the positions and the national budgets in the year 2022. Subsequently, Pratep Veti added, for Buddhist Scripture Education Act has been forced since the year 2019, but the sub-laws have not yet been coming out, causing many monasteries, schools have budget problem, management and security in life. It is hopeful that these problems will be solved when the sub-laws are released.
So this is news pertaining to the Buddhist Scriptures Educational Act, or it's called in Thai พระราชบัญญัติพระปริยัติธรรม So this is one of the good news among the Thai Sanghas that this kind of act has been enacted and announced to use for the Thai Sangha since last year, right?
Yes.
2019. So we will now shift to the next headline. MCU วัดไร่ขิง shows outstanding national research works. It is very gratifying that our research work of MCU have built up a national reputation when selected as a distinguished research work of the year 2020. This research is the result of the student of พุทธปัญญาศรีทวารวดี or MCU วัดไร่ขิง which was selected as distinguished research work of the year 2020. It is a dissertation on the concept of fasting program called intermittent fasting or IF of Ms. Thirawan Suksan Paisan, a student of Master of Arts program in Buddhist Studies. The said research has studied Theravada Buddhism's doctrines that said about dieting for the maintenance of balance in a normal existence, both physically and mentally, based on the Buddhist approach in practicing the teachings of the Buddha together with the program to change the consumer behaviors, according to the concept of intermittent fasting, aka IF. The sample group of the study consists of 15 monks and general public with over 20 years old without underlying disease, without mental health problems, by taking the sample group into the program of what we call IF.
And the study results show that in all aspects, the means before the experimental was significantly higher than that of the post-experiment, including body weight, reduced waist circumference, lower abdominal fat levels, lower body fat percentage, decreased blood lipid levels, and lower blood sugar levels. From the analysis, it was found that most of the samples had chanting and pay respect to the triple gems, made merit regularly and practice the Dhamma, no smoking, no drinking alcohol, having a daily life according to the Buddhist teaching, which has consistent results and helps promote the research result more clearly. Ms. Thirawan, the researcher, added that the study results also present a new form of knowledge based on Buddhist integration with a focus on a long life and good health, called THEEB model, including T, which is thought, means that a comprehensive review according to the Buddhist principles, and thought is the most important thing. The right thoughts make us understand the right action and the direction of life. H means harmony. Harmony means a harmony with everything. A health is good and sustainable by adjusting behavior and the way of life in harmony. And E means exercise. Exercise means taking exercise to increase physical and mental strength. Another E means eating, which means food consumption for the benefit of five aggregate existence, not for satisfying lust, eating enough according to the principle of Pochane Mattanyuta. Balancing means maintaining a balance in consumption by living at least 16 hours each day from the consumption.
So such research is very a breakthrough we obtained from the research and proudly presented by the MCU, especially to the Wat Rai King, MCU Wat Rai King.
Yes.
We so proud in the name of the researcher who conduct this research.
Yes, which we can contribute to the society.
Right. So those who interest to read and to study on more on the research, you can visit our MCU online website. Okay, www.mcu.ac.th. So we now shift to the next headline. MCU Chiang Mai joined hands with Chiang Mai Hospital to take care of monks and patients' health. Health is a big deal, especially the health of monks. Many sectors are now concerned because in some monasteries there are many devout offering of food regardless of the effect of the monks' health. For this reason, MCU Chiang Mai campus therefore signed an MOU with hospital in the areas around it.
On last Mother's Day, Venerable Racha Ratchamuni, the abbot of Wat Suan Dok, a royal monastery, Venerable Pravimon Lamuni, Vice Rector for MCU Chiang Mai campus, Pra Maha Somkiat Siri Aruno, Director of Pali Sathit Education School of MCU Chiang Mai campus, and Miss Sali Pong Sawang, a professional nurse, Vice Director of Chiang Mai Neurological Hospital, signed MOU with each other to join hands together for looking after the health of monks. And in the past, both parties joined hands to take care of monks' health with screening, making a database, developing monks, looking after unhealthy monks, until leading to signing MOU on cooperation project, implementation between Wat Suan Dok, a royal monastery, MCU Chiang Mai campus, Bali Sathit Education School of MCU, and Chiang Mai Neurological Hospital to promote the cooperation in taking care of the health of monks and novice students in terms of integration, as well as taking care of the mind and the soul of the nervous system to patients using the Buddhist and philosophical guidelines.
So since the Sangha has set up a health constitution for the monks, it felt that taking care of the monks' health, many sectors have got involved even more. The Sangha began to turn their attention to the health of themselves and the community, people around even more concerned. So this is the new pertaining with the joining hand between the MCU Chiang Mai and Chiang Mai's hospitals in order to make sure that all the missions that responsible for MCU Chiang Mai will be successfully done.
Yes, and this is a great sign to sign MOU together, so the monks' health can be taken care of by a professional nurse.
Right, with a number of social connection institutes.
Yes, and moving on to the next headline, brotherly relationship between seniors and juniors of Faculty of Education. Brotherly relationship organized by the graduate programs in sociology teaching under the direction of Associate Professor Dr. Somchai Srinov. This event was organized by the graduate programs in sociology teaching, Faculty of Education, MCU, at Tier C, Classroom Building Zone C, MCU Wang Noi Ayutthaya Province on Sunday, 16th of August 2020.
Faculty of Education held the 2020 orientation for new graduate students of sociology teaching programs, both Master of Arts and PhD students, called Brotherly Relationship Between Seniors and Juniors of Faculty of Education. In this regard, Professor Dr. Praracha Parayatikawi, Rector of MCU, presided over and delivered a special lecture on Graduate Studies Guidelines for Society in New Normal. In addition, other important activities were carried out, including the teachers' worship as Buddhist of students, welcoming activity in the Northeastern style, entertainment activities like the folk play of the Northeast, and so on, which were led by Associate Professor Dr. Somchai Srinov. He is the director of the program, and all lecturers and seniors. So this is about the brotherly relationship between seniors and juniors of the Faculty of Education.
Yes, and moving on to the next news, as usual, I would like to present another news story that is auspicious for the audience. And the news is definitely must be about the Buddhist devout who is the host donation of money and the items offered for monks to MCU students, both internationally and Thai monks. So I and Ajahn Sanu will present the name list of the hosts for the audience to rejoice in merit together.
We will congratulate or Anumotana together.
Yes. So the most venerable Professor Dr. Prarachappariyatikavi, Rector of Mahajulalamkon Rajavidyalaya University, kindly gave money and granted to Dr. Prakhu C. Siddhi Bandit, Director of Registration and Evaluation Office, to go to buy 50 kilograms of fruits, including mangoes, papayas, cantaloupes, from the Fruit Secreting Merit Project of Parachathamanithet or Phra Phayong, Wat Suan Kaew, Nonthaburi Province, to be offered to administrators, lecturers, staffs, and students at the 72-year-old Pravisutthathipadi Building or Dining Hall, Mahajulalongkorn Rajavidyalaya University, Wang Noi, Ayutthaya Province. Next, Mr. Sirpsak Iamvichan, the Governor of Phetchabun Province, together with the Deputy Governor, Director of the Office Provincial Buddhism, Sheriff of Khao Ko District, Public Health Chief, and Phetchabun Provincial Government agencies came to make merit and give alms to overseas Dhammatutta Bhikkhus, Class 22 under the training project at Carson Religious Development Center, Mahajulalongkorn Rajavidyalaya University, for a loyal charity and in gracious honor with Praso Ponwachiraporn, Vice Rector for Foreign Affairs, to welcome and introduce administrators, Vipassana meditation masters, lecturers, staffs, and under training Dhammatutta Bhikkhus to receive alms bow from the governor and his groups. Next, Prasopon Vachiraporn, Vice Rector for Foreign Affairs, Mahajulalongkorn Rajavidyalaya University, donated 20,000 baht for lunch to dedicate to the most venerable Dr. Paracharatana Moli or Nakhon Khemapali, a former rector of MCU, which is an expression of the Dhamma of gratitude. And in this regard, the most venerable Dr. Parachappariyatikavi, rector of MCU, presided over the ceremony and kindly gave a moral speech with the attention of administrators, lecturers, staff, and Thai and international students as usual. Next, Phra Maha Supachai Piya Thammachayo, Director of Buddhist Sunday School, was the host to offer 130 cups of shaved ice to administrators, lecturers, staff, and MCU students, both international people and Thai students. Participated in the making merit dedicated to the most venerable Dr. Paracharatana Moli or Nakhon Khemapali, a former rector of MCU as well. The ceremony was presided over by the most venerable Professor Dr. Prarachappariyatikavi, rector of Mahajulalongkorn Rajavidyalaya University. Next, Khun Mae Panitpak Charan Suk and family offered 2 sets of Thai Tipitaka totaling 30,000 baht and donating 3,100 baht into lunch development funds received by Pramaha Thongkham Thita Pemo, Vice Director of Office of Buddhism Promotion and Social Services at the 72-year-old Pravisutthathipadi Building Dining Hall, second floor of MCU Wang Noi, Ayutthaya Province.
So that is all for the rejoice in merit to the Buddhist hosting food to MCU students, including both old and the new students.
Yes.
And actually, alumni of MCU or the old student who already graduated from the MCU already, in addition, have a role as overseas Dhammatutta Bhikkhus, almost every corner of the world and every continent. And right now, we would like to present to the audience about the alumni of MCU who disrupted or a lay alumni became a chaplain in the Army of the United States of America. How could they have been chaplains in the Army of the United States? It is very interesting topics to discuss in order to get the answers. And coming up next, we will call to interview with one of the famous MCU alumni who is a chaplain in the United States of America Army or the US Army in short.
Yes.
Then please stay with us and we will just come back very shortly.
Mahachulalongkornrajvidyalaya University invites devout Buddhists to jointly host the offering of breakfast and lunch to administrators, lecturers, staff, and more than 500 Thai and foreign students who are monks and novices from more than 25 countries every day at MCU, Wang Noi District, Pranakon Sri Ayutthaya Province. For more details, please contact MCU Contact Center, phone number 061 951 5459 or 035 24 8000 press 8129.
Yes, welcome back to MCU this week, and now we are in a very special session and we are having a very special guest for the phone interview today. So we are going to talk to our alumni of MCU, and he is the first chaplain of the United States of American Army, Chaplain Malasri, chaplain for the 68th Combat Sustainment Support Battalion, Fort Carson, Colorado, America, and he is with us right now. So please welcome him. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับผม
Can you hear us?
สวัสดีครับได้ยินครับ
Yes.
Okay, so
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Right.
So you are in the United States right now in Colorado, right?
Yes, good evening here and good morning in Thailand.
Okay, yes. So Chaplain Captain Somya Malasri, right?
Yes.
Am I spelled correctly?
Right, yeah. Malasri, Chaplain Malasri. I'm really happy that you allowed me to be here with all of you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We either.
Yes. How is the situation over there now regarding the COVID-19 situation? Is everything okay now?
Everything is good here. Just kind of taking care of yourself, protect yourself with the masks. When you go somewhere, just kind of just masks and things like that, and distance from other person. That because of still going on, but we have to protect ourselves and others as well.
Oh, right. So yeah, we're so happy to hear that you are still safe for the COVID-19. So, me either. Everyone here in the room, it's okay.
Yes, and we are very honored to have you here today in our talking session. So could you please tell us how did you become the first chaplain of the United States of America Army?
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's kind of a long journey. How do I become the first active duty duty chaplain in U.S. Army? So I came to U.S. in June 11, 2001 as a monk, as a Buddhist monk. I came over here in Denver, and I went to Utah, stayed there, temple there, and studied English over there. Also, I graduated from Mahachulalongkorn Buddhist University in I think 2001, and I came over to U.S.
Oh, I see. You graduated from the MSU, right?
I went to school there, and I also went to school here in U.S. Just improve my English, and I met soldiers here. He's the Buddhists came over to the temple, and we just discussed and talk and things like that. So because my desire when I was young, as a kid, a young boy, I want to become soldiers. All the want to become soldiers.
Oh, it's like your dream.
So I didn't make it in time. So now in the US, I met a soldiers and we discussed and I checked with the chaplain office. They said, "Oh yeah, they have a wonderful position for Buddhists. I mean, at a chaplain." So and I'm really happy for kind of apply for that in 2005 and. I got selected as a chaplain candidate in 2006.
I see.
I graduated in 2010 and came on active duty as a chaplain in 2010 October.
Oh, I see. And you mentioned before that you were also an alumni of MCU. You had a bachelor degree from here. What program did you study?
Yeah, I have I studied humanities, faculty of humanities. Yes. Graduate like 2001. Yes, right.
And you were in batch 46, right? I think a lot of your friends has been doing many things right now. You still have a contact with some of your friends, right?
Well, yes. I have we have a group like kind of the alumni, the 64th, the group where we have a line and Facebook and things like that.
Yes, great to keep in touch with your classmate from the batch 46 from MCU. And before you became a chaplain, what did you do before that? Can you share with us, please?
I came here as a monk, and I did a monk, like serve the Buddhist community here in Denver, in Colorado Springs, where I live now, and in Utah as a monk, and as a pretty much like do everything like as a monk in Thailand. Here, like kind of to take care of Buddhist people that come over to the temple or kind of make merits and read them some meditation and things like that. That's kind of I think that one is kind of very only Thai or Laos or Cambodian Buddhist group. They come over to the temple, but in the larger pictures, we cannot. I have to kind of do something maybe in my mind. I think like we have to go to the American community, so that's why I met the soldiers, and maybe it's better to join the army. So I went join the army to become a chaplain.
Okay, so going back to the 2001 when you graduated from the MCU. Okay, so what is your status at that time? Are you was you study as the laity or you already become a monk?
I was a monk.
Oh, I was a monk. You were a monk at that time.
From like I graduated everything as a monk. I studied as a monk. I came here as a monk. Came to US as a monk.
Oh, I see. So when did you disrobe for monkhood?
I left the monk. I left the monkhood in May 2004. And I came back in Thailand, and then I came back to 2 years and joined the army right after that. And I was enlisted as a cook because I waiting for the endorsing paper from Buddhist Church of America, which is the Buddhist agent for Buddhism. So to become a chaplain in the hospital, armies, or some organization like that, we have to get endorsed by Buddhist Church of America. So I waited for that for like almost 2 years. I was a cook as a specialist, like E4 in the rank E4, like E4 maybe like in Thai like maybe Sito, something like that. So,
Sito.
I see. And I got endorsing paper in May 2006, and I got out from enlisted soldiers, and I became an officer as a second lieutenant. And then I went to school in Los Angeles at University of West there to do my master of divinity in Buddhist chaplaincy.
So what is the recent position of you? It's a captain, right?
Yes, now, yeah, I'm a captain right now. Yeah.
Okay, so in Thai we call ร้อยเอก Okay, may I ask you how do you feel you have become the first chaplain of the U.S. Army?
Oh, I'm really I'm really happy that I become first activity Buddhist chaplain in the U.S. Army. But I have a Buddhist chaplain before, like in the Navy, that she's already out. Now I'm the first person, like the first time is very difficult for me because I don't know what to expect, what I'm going to do and things like that. But I'm very confident in myself that because of the heart, because of the compassion. That's why whatever happens, okay, I'm happy, open-minded, and I'm happy to take care of their soldiers, their family members. So that's really helped me a lot, and I'm really proud of myself as a Thai, as Buddhist, and as a American soldier as well. I'm very proud of myself, my family as well, as a Patula that give me that opportunity to join the army, the U.S. Army as a chaplain.
So to become the first thing of anything is not that easy. So I guess that you have a lot of like those hardship circumstances and obstacles, hindrances. So you said that it's the confidence that made you get through everything, right? It's a confidence.
Yeah, confidence. Yeah, you have to believe in yourself, trust yourself. And also, I think one other thing is open-minded and willing to understand. Willing to study, to learn new things. It's not like the full gas support. It's not like the full gas that have to be like empty glasses. So that willing to add anyone who want to add waters or open-minded like that. You can learn. If you don't know, just ask other person. They're happy to tell you, to teach you, train you to be better person, to be better chaplain.
I see. Thank you very much. You talk about the empty glasses concept. So are you interested, particular to the Mahayana sect, especially the Zen philosophy?
Yeah, because in the army or at the war or maybe in America as a whole, they just practice Buddhist. The majority of people like to practice meditation. So when they practice meditation, they feel like okay, they have a kind of calm or kind of something like that, and later on they want to know more about Buddhism, and we can share with them. If they ask you, yes, you can share what you know about Buddhism to other soldiers. But without asking, you cannot say, Buddhism, the way and things like that. No, we cannot do that. It doesn't matter if Mahayana, Theravada, or Vajrayana, but just kind of share with Buddhism. The meditation. The meditation of the Buddha, we have to say, the Four Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, the Buddhist characteristics, and things like that. But later on, they just come back to meditation. That is, the fundamental of Buddhism. That is not to do any evil, to do good, and to purify one's mind. That concludes everything. It's kind of meditation like that. They enjoy learning this.
Yes, and according to your background, you were ordained as a Korean monk, is that right?
Yes, actually, before that I was kind of Buddhist minister. I ordained through the orders of Buddhist minister in Los Angeles, and because of the requirements, they have to become a chaplain, you have to have a kind of announcing paper, you have to have master degree, and you have to have get ordained, like that. So that's why I went through the process of Korean Taegu orders with a master, Chaplain in Los Angeles. So I was trained under him.
I see. So your ordination under the Theravada Buddhism was not enough. They required you to ordain again in the Korean sect or Mahayana tradition.
I'm like the Theravada monk, 2004, and I ordained as this Buddhist. Ordained as Korean orders of Taegu orders with my master Chaplain in Los Angeles there. So
it was your second time of the ordination?
There's definitely from organization of Buddhists. So in order for you to accredit from Buddhists, things like that. So that's why I ordered through the current order.
You are saying that it's a compulsory, right, for you to having ordained again in the another sect called Mahayana sect, right?
Yeah, so that's the requirements. Yeah, the requirements.
All right.
Right.
So may I ask, what really are the roles of the chaplains in the U.S. Army?
Yeah, we there are different kinds of the chaplain. We really have as for me, I talk to myself, okay. As for me, we kind of go for PT formation at the 6:30, and after that, after formation, we get some information and then we do PT, the physical exercise together with other soldiers, and then we've done maybe an hour, and we come back home, we get, I have breakfast and things like that, and take shower, and go back to work again at 9:30. And the first thing, I just check my email and things like that. After that, I check schedule. If I have any counseling, my assistant can help me with schedule counseling and things like that. So if they check, I have a schedule with counseling, visiting the soldiers or family members or soldiers in hospital, just go there and visit them in month. Just visit the soldiers where they are working, so just be there and say hi and be with them, just kind of be with them and encourage them, and if you see they're kind of down or things like that, just say hi to them and just kind of talk to them, what's going on and things like that. Yeah, pretty much I can say 60% of my time I give counseling and talking to soldiers, or sometimes family members they come over for counseling and things like that. So besides counseling, the training, for example suicide prevention, do the retreats, like family retreats or single soldier retreats and things like that. Take the soldiers to a very nice resort, like 3 days, 2 nights, and kind of teach them how to live with peaceful families and things like that. Through curriculum, for example, like grandchildren for a better marriage, where I learn how to affect families, and something like that, to kind of help soldiers who are really new, kind of newlywed soldiers who are only married for some time, but help them, guide them, and kind of remind them to be a good husband or to be a good wife, communication and things like that. Just help them, like that. For a better marriage. And after that, have meeting with the command teams, and after that, kind of pretty much after that, visiting soldiers. That's my routine, daily routine.
Such a crucial role for chaplains to not only to take care of their physical, problems, but also to take care of their mental or health problems as well. So this is to say that a chaplain must take care of the someone's whole life. It's such a great burden for a chaplain.
Yes, so do you see yourself as a Buddhist counselor working over there, doing some social work in the military society?
My memory is kind of similar to that, but as a chaplain, we do spiritual parts of to help them, to help soldiers, and the tree is going to be very, very difficult for them for the tree, because there's no leaves. It's going to be really hard for the tree. And after maybe 3 months, summertime, springtime comes, they're going to leaves, they have leaves again. And leaves are bigger, maybe really beautiful flowers, and then taller than previous seeds. And then just like that, sometimes we have difficult time. We have difficult time. Sometimes as a season, everything is arising, so and passing away, right? So passing away, they say that our problems is obvious for some reason, and we just kind of try to find can think as temporarily. It's not there forever, right? AFL code, okay, A acknowledge. Whatever happened, it happened in the past, we cannot fix, right? And AF again. And now we are the body and move forward like that. So everything just like that, you know, in addition, things like that, something. Rising, sustaining, passing.
Yeah, so
the tree thing like that. So that's kind of I share something like that, simple.
So
there's really characteristic of person just like that, you know. But that's why I push it that way so that they can accept it. So they can, you know, see, oh, okay, yeah, everything is just like that, and learn to accept, and then forgive ourselves, others, and move forward. That is the thing that I share with them. Soldiers and family.
Your roles and duties are so crucial and essential one. Chaplain Captain Malasri, can you please share with us what was the worst case that you helped so far?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, sometimes it's that's the variety. Sometimes they have soldiers. Sometimes they just come. They just join the army. They left high school. They join the army, and it's hard for them to adjust to the new environment. Something like that. It's very very difficult for them to adjust to the new environment. It's very hard for them. You know, those kind of thing is very challenged because they're not ready to become a soldier. Sometimes they're feeling as a high school, you know, high school student thing like that. But in the army, no, it's not. They're in the army. So those kind of thing is very very difficult. Very challenge for me to to help them adjust to the environment like that. Or sometimes soldiers they have a family issue, thing like that, or sometimes like they have someone pass away, thing like that. It's kind of pretty much is hard, but you know, it's really difficult to breathe with them with the soldiers, but we just be there with them, you know, pretty much be with the soldiers who kind of will and pass away and things like that. Those kind of things very challenge for me. But for the work with other person, I'm really open person, you know, I'm really open-minded so that I don't have any issue with other person. I don't know other person to me, but for me, no. I just kind of share my loving kindness and my compassion. So that I don't have any I don't have any difficulty to work with other person.
I see. That's why you just cannot think about it.
I'm happy to work with the soldiers.
yes, so you give them like big support and be there for them and give them encouragement to pass each situation.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, we kind of spiritually support. Sometimes even kind of not only spiritual support. Sometimes we have the things, mature things. Also, sometimes you know but I can't have it. But I can find somewhere on this ready for the soldiers who have some kind of difficulty and things like that. We can provide with the soldiers who have many kids and things like that. So just kind of provide, for example, like food and clothes and things like that. To help the soldiers.
Okay, and
pretty much another thing, you know, it's kind of rule of the chaplain. It's kind of to support the soldiers and their families. So that's pretty much the rule of the chaplain.
right, and
Besides their service, like beside to kind of lead them in lead Buddhist soldiers to become good Buddhists, to practice meditation and things like that. At the same time, we just take care of soldiers and their family members.
right. Let's talk about your location. Where are you currently, stationed right now?
I'm with City Combat Sustainment Battalion here at from Carson, Colorado. In Colorado Springs, Colorado State. It's very very pretty here. Lots of mountains and really nice. I'm really happy to be here.
Right. So this
kind
is
of my hometown, Because, the first time I came here in the US in Colorado, I was here before, like almost 20 years ago. Now I'm back to my hometown, pretty much like that. So I'm really happy.
Oh, it's like
Yes.
it feels like going back to the hometown.
so have,
Yes, pretty much.
This-
I know a lot of people here. That's fine.
yes. This is
My
your
family is here.
right. So you said this is your current location right now, current station. Have you been transferred before you
Yes,
came here?
Well, I went to many locations. The first, I went to school in Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and I went to school again in Fairfield, Virginia. And my first duty station as a soldier is Schofield Barracks in Hawaii. And after that, I became an officer. My first duty station in Fort Lewis in Washington State. I worked there for 3 years, and I went to Delaware in Virginia, like very close to Washington D.C. I did my technical bachelor education there for 1 year, and I went to Fort Hood, Texas. I was there for 3 years, and I deployed. I went to Kuwait for 9 months.
Yes, so you've been
And
living.
after that, I moved to here, to Colorado, and I went to Saudi Arabia. I just got back from Saudi Arabia.
Oh, you've been moving a
And
lot.
back to-
Right. So you've been moving a lot of places, but recently you are stationed
Yeah,
in Colorado.
Every 3 years, pretty much like two and a half, it's probably about 3 years. We're going to move new location and things like that.
I see. So every 3 years you have to be transferred somewhere else.
Yes, pretty much, yes.
But you are now in the Colorado, right?
Right, I'm in Colorado right now.
Okay, so at present, may I ask if how many MCU alumni are the chaplains in the U.S. Army with you in Colorado? The MCU MCU alumni. How many MCU alumni staying with you and working as a
Oh, okay. Yeah, we have about 7.
7?
5 from the MCU alumni and 2 from Muhammad British University.
Oh, I see.
So we have
Surprised me.
So about 7.
So 7 altogether from the biggest Buddhist university from Thailand. That's very
we have
interesting.
different locations, and even in other country like in Germany and in Poland. Like now we have a Buddhist chaplain there too.
Okay, and do you have a chance, like it happens that you met each other sometimes?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we here as a base here, we have about 40, maybe roughly 40 chaplains, but different denominations. But majority of them are Christians, so only the Buddhists here. So we work together. We have training together, master training, things like that. So we're working as a team, as a teamwork. You become UMT, you become unity team. We work together, and I don't make like Buddhist chaplains here at my base here, but we are different locations. But we work together. If you have the issue and things like that, we connect with each other. We have a group there. A group chat sometimes if they have any issue and things like that. So pretty much like we know each other because we are very small minority, so we know each other well.
Yes.
But I know some Thai Buddhists or some Laotian Buddhists or some Cambodian Buddhists. I mean the Jaya Army here. So I met a lot of them like that.
I see. And
not a chaplain, not Buddhist chaplain.
yes, and I suppose that many young ones, like young students who have the same dream jobs as you, and do you have anything to recommend them? How to get into this job and what to prepare for this position?
Yeah, well, first of all, you have to learn. You have to learn. You have to learn to serve others, to serve other person. Like kind of selfless service, pretty much like that. You have really to serve other person. You have to kind of preparation in education. You have to get master of divinity in Buddhist chaplaincy and things like that. And you have to have get ordained, get announcing paper, and get training, pretty much things like that. But most important thing is you have to have heart, the heart, loving kindness heart to serve other person. Like have selfless service, to other person. You want to take care of the person. If you have a heart like this, you're going to be really happy wherever you go. And other person also going to respect you, as who you are. Just be who you are, and then care for other person. They're gonna, because you love to do for other person. You love to help other person. You're only happy, another person also, benefit from what you're doing. So that's the plus. So that is the thing that you should prepare to develop yourself, love for what you're doing, and besides education, besides training and things like that. So this is the thing that I think the person who wants to become a chaplain should learn and should know.
Right. So in order to work as a good chaplains, I believe that one needs to correct those Buddhist knowledge, especially Buddha's teachings, and can be able to apply those teachings into the real life in terms of the consultation or Buddhist counseling and so on. So may I ask you, does MCU educational achievement play an important role in your getting of this great job?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. Without studying, we are learning from Hachiralongam Buddhist University. I'm not here. I won't be here. Because those are base knowledge, base knowledge that I learned. And so here again, when I get here to US, I have to study, learn more about American cultures and things like that, and learn how to counseling. And when we become a chaplain, we have trained a lot. We have trained a lot, training for education. Educate yourself, a lot, every year, many times a year, kind of go to school and things like that. Besides studying at Mahajula. So those kind of things are very, very important, when you study at Mahajula, do not kind of believe in yourself. Just study there, just study more, learn more, know what you're doing, what you're learning, what you're studying. In the future, those kind of studying, those kind of learning can help you. Like me myself, those kind of things, those kind of training, practicing, and doing meditation in Thailand. It's helping a lot. When it comes to those kind of things benefit me, and I share those kind of things to other person here.
Right. And finally, before we close the session, would you like to share any message? Do you like to deliver any message to the junior at MCU?
Thank you so very much for kind of having me here as a woman, to share my knowledge with our students at the university right now at Mahajula. Kind of just study, don't feel bad that I study here, it's not famous. No, just study. Whatever you study, just study for the sake of studying, and prepare yourself for opportunity. When opportunity comes, you can grab that opportunity. Without preparation, without learning, without studying, when the opportunity comes, like big, very big, it hits you, but you can't grab that opportunity. So that's why be prepared, prepare yourself, learning English, learning Buddhist, learning to meditate, how to meditate, and behave yourself, and taking care of yourself well, because you're going to take care of other person, take care of yourself. Those kind of things you should know, and also share those kind of really kindness to other person, and take care of yourself first, and then share with other person. You're gonna be very happy. Again, thank you so very much for having me.
Okay, so thank you very much as well. So now our session now is already up, and we would like to give a special thanks to the invited guest straight from the Colorado, USA. Chaplain Captain Somya Malasri. He is a chaplain for the 68th Combat Sustainment Support Battalion, Fort Carson from Colorado. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so very much, everyone.
Okay, and now the time is really up. The MCU This Week program need to say goodbye right now. Thank you for watching. For Assistant Professor Dr. Samuel Matanadun.
And I'm Dr. Nanapang Popejit.
Together with the MCU This Week team, we have to take a leave until we see you again. And goodbye.
Goodbye. ขอบคุณค่ะ